This is our first video in my new training series, Training Sessions, where I sit down with a dog and we just go through a general training session. These videos are going to be less edited than usual, but a lot more one-on-one training with the dog, explaining to you what I do, why I do it, when I do it. So if you have a dog that has specific needs, leave me a comment below and maybe we'll do a training session on that. We'll see you in the video. So this is Toast, and to give you some background on Toast, Toast has some extreme resource guarding, and that is why he is here with me for a board and train. His resource guarding is extreme, and he's a small dog, right? He's only about, maybe 10 or 15 pounds, but the resource guarding is crazy, right? He will resource guard his food, his bowls, sometimes his leash. Occasionally he'll even resource guard an area that he thinks is his, and even though he is small, he has bit people before, including myself. I had a pretty bruised up arm for about a week because of the day when I picked him up. He was resource guarding his bag of food. And so what we're just going to be doing here is just working with Toast. He's a couple weeks into his training, and what I've been doing to start, right, when we're dealing with a dog that has any sort of issue, including resource guarding, is we just want to improve our communication and our relationship. So that starts with loose leash walking, that starts with building obedience, starting fresh, right? When we work on obedience, we ask for, sits and downs, and we follow lures, yes. And we communicate with the dog constantly what to do, right? So we're sitting around inside. We're not just letting our dog be free. We're giving them a ton of structure and building up that trust and building up our commands, our stays, our sits, all of our commands. And then usually, I'd say 90, 99, 95% of the time, you'll see a huge improvement in a dog. So we saw that a ton with Toast, and he improved a ton, but he still has a little bit of resource guarding. And so now that we've achieved our relationship and kind of built that up, it's never really achieved, but we've improved on that. We are going to stress test Toast with resource guarding. He still will resource guard high value items in situations. And you also want to keep in mind that, I could totally train Toast to stop resource guarding in this situation on this place board with this type of food, but we need to generalize everything. No matter what your dog's issue is, generalizing training is going to be it's the most important part, right? We need to bring Toast into different situations, stress test different things, set him up for every possible situation we can think of in our heads that he might be set up with in the future, and show him in all those situations, this is what we do, right? We don't resource guard, we don't do whatever that behavior is. And so we're kind of to that point right now where we're generalizing, and I'll give you a little example. Let's see if we can get Toast to resource guard, but oftentimes he'll resource guard a bowl, like whatever bowl his food is in, as well as high value resources to him, such as his food, or these are even higher value treats. These are hot dogs. We're gonna give this to Toast, give him in the bowl. And I will say, don't do this at home. If you're not confident in your dog, you might get bit. Unless you're a professional, don't do this at home. But I'm going to reach into Toast's bowl, and I have him on our standard NCA slip lead. He's a smaller dog. This is a perfect tool for a dog like Toast where I can give him corrections. And what I'm trying to do here is show Toast, I'm going to touch your food bowl sometimes, and I'm going to allow him to make his own decisions completely. If he resource guards it, we are going to punish, discourage that behavior. Show him, make it very clear. It has to be very clear to Toast that what he did in that situation was wrong. Timing is important. And if he doesn't resource guard, yes, good boy, we are going to reinforce him and show him that's exactly what we want you to do. I'm gonna put some more food in his, and now I'm gonna try to grab it, take it away from him as he's eating it. And you can see with his body language that it stresses him out a little bit when I do that. But we've been working on this a ton. I can even clip to, as I'm talking about this, clip to other videos of different items that he has been resource guarding. Sometimes I have him tied up to a leash connected to the couch so he can't get to me. And we want to set him up for failure, right? Right now, I am trying to set him up for failure. I'm actually trying to get him to resource guard an item from me because if I can get him to do it, I can make it very clear in that situation. We don't want to just be stuck in real life situations doing things. Good, Toast. Good boy. Good boy. Sorry to interrupt your video. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about these bad boys, Impact Dog Crates. I train a ton of dogs, and I have a ton of dogs in crates. A crate should be your dog's safe space, and Impact Crate does that. They are made of high-grade aluminum, made in America. They are really easy to move around. Your crate is essentially your dog's home, so why not go a little bit above and beyond and get your dog a very nice home? At checkout, use code Ethan10 or use the link in the description below to get your Impact Crate today. Now back to your video. If we're just stuck in real life situations and we never actually get a chance to address it, we're gonna run in circles forever. And so that's kind of what I mean by setting our dog up for failure. And another thing that I've been working on with Toast a ton is the obedience, using the obedience to address his resource guarding. So right now, Toast, he is kind of resource guarding right now. He made an effort to sit directly in between me and the bowl. So I'll show you in a second. I'm going to throw some food in the bowl for him. Again, really show him that that is his bowl. That is, nope, place, yes. But using his obedience to work on the resource guarding. If he has a really good leave it, leave it. Nope. I am just putting a little piece of a hot dog directly in front of his paws, and I'm telling him to leave it. And he knows what leave it means. And this is showing him that this is me communicating, right? I am in charge with everything that we do. I can pick them up, and I can put them, leave it. No. Yes, good, Toast. Right, I'm doing all these behavior, no, leave it. Good. And I'm really trying to push him further and further every single time. He's thinking about it, nope, good. So it's hard for you guys to see because he was looking at me and I was behind the camera, but his body language changed a ton when I went to pick up the hot dogs. And as you can see, right, this is a much better behavior than what Toast was originally, but I'm using his obedience, good, to show him, make him a little bit uncomfortable, but show him that all of these resources that we give you, they're mine, they are not yours. So, see if I can go grab the bowl. Yes, good, Toast, good. Right, and using, again, his obedience to set him up for situations that are going to happen in the real world. 3 weeks ago, if someone did this to Toast, Toast would be lunging and barking and biting as he did with me. Good, Toast, yes. And throughout sessions like this, I'm also going to ask for just basic obedience, right? I'm going to lure him into his downs. I'm going to put him in a down stay and a sit stay. A stay is a really practical command for a dog with resource guarding issues, right? If your dog thinks that, for example, like Toast, that the closet that the food is his, and every time someone goes to open it, he has to resource guard it. If we can give him a perfect stay and tell him to stay on a placeboard or a bed or somewhere elsewhere, well, he's not going to resource guard. And that's not fixing his issue, but that is giving us just tools in our box, in our tool bag to work with, right? To control and manage Toast for the rest of his life. Good. Yes, come on, buddy. He also needs to learn how to work for food and work for his items. Okay, leave it. Again, right? I'm using his obedience right now. Good, leave it, buddy. Good boy. Good. Yes. So you can see he still gets a little bit uncomfortable, as I mentioned, but the resource guarding is getting a lot better. Yes. And I'm trying to be a little cautious of just reaching my hand in and grabbing things. And I don't want to get too close to his food as he's eating it, but I'm going to tell him to stay, and I'm going to get a little tool that I often use for dogs, that resource guard, and that is just a very basic broom. Toast knows that we've worked with this before, right? This is something that I can just put into his food bowl as he's eating, because when you're right next to their face and he tries to bite you, it's hard to get away from that, but Toast, come here. Here, buddy. Come on. Yes. Good. And so what I've done, and I can play a couple clips of Toast actually biting this, is I have every single time Toast tries to attack me, right, bite me, guard these resources, I give him a correction. I show him that that is wrong, that we don't do that. And then after he doesn't resource guard, I encourage that behavior. I tell him that that's exactly what I want you to do. No, place. Come on. Yes. That's what I'm gonna do. He obviously is, he's used to whenever I bring the broom out, it goes in his food. Good. Right now, I'm just gonna generalize the broom being right next to him. Yes. Good, Toast. Good. Right, but it's very simple to shape certain behaviors with a dog. And this is all that I'm doing, right? I'm shaping his obedience, but I'm also shaping, no, sit. His lack of resource guarding, no, sit. Good, Toast, good boy. So the last important point that I want to touch on when we're working with a dog that resource guards is not giving your dog freedom to do whatever they want. Resource guarding, more often than not, comes from a dog having too much freedom and start making decisions for the family and for themselves. And if what we do is we use our obedience and are constantly telling Toast what to do, building the relationship and building the trust of him, no, not resource guarding, making all of these decisions for him, right? We're sitting around, we're eating dinner, you're staying on your place board. We're, you know, watching TV on the couch, you're sitting on your place board, you're staying, right? We're working on obedience, we're working on a recall. I walk out to take the trash out. You're staying on your place board and I'm outside for 2 minutes taking out the trash, right? All of these things, we do not want to give a dog the freedom before we have built up the trust. So we are going to bring everything back down to the basics, start with no freedom. Really, you know, once we build up the obedience, we can start introducing more freedom. You're able to do things on your own. No. And then as we improve that, we can start building up the trust and build our dog to a much more free dog, but we don't start with the freedom. So that's in short all we're doing with Toast. If you like this training session, well, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And if you want to see a training session with a dog that has an issue like yours, leave me a comment below. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one.